So hello and welcome to the Donny Chaingang. We're back. We've had a Christmas. I hope you've all had your fill of chocolate, of cake, of mince pies. I certainly have. In fact, just finished the last of the Christmas cake here at the Full Speed Event Studios, and there is no more, unfortunately. We're down back underground in the old Beer Cellar Studios today, and we're going to be bringing you all of the action on the Donny Chaingang. The Donny Chaingang on a Thursday, open to riders who register. So please remember, if you want to jump on board, it's really simple. You just need to register, and that's so that we can get out and get rid of any spam bots, any ne'er-do-wells, anybody who's going to muck up the ride. We want you to have great fun. So we make sure we patrol that and keep an eye on what's going on. We have lots of cameras all over the place, as you'd expect, as we are bringing you the broadcast out on the ride as well. And of course, all part of being a member of the DCG gang means you get access to this as well as to the Tuesday ride. Now, we were around yesterday as well, and that was going out on the Full Speed Events YouTube channel, and that was sort of for the WOW. The sister broadcast and ride, the Women's Only Wednesday Chaingang. Really great. Have a watch back if you haven't seen it. Absolutely superb win by Holly Bergin. So really looking forward to seeing what happens. I know a number of the riders who were riding yesterday are here today, and going to be interested to see how they get on. Don't forget, of course, that we've got lots of great action coming up all the way through. We've got some special stuff heading out the way of the members on the DCG gang, the Donny Chaingang Sports Club, who make all this possible. Now, of the future, what about tonight? Well, we are in Bologna, one of the hardest and yet one of the easiest routes in terms of being able to tell you what happens. It is a bit like the Grand Old Duke of York. We have currently about 40 riders, I think, on the start line and rapidly approaching more, just quickly ticking up. I'm going to march to the top of the hill. I'm going to march them back down again. And then we're going to march them back up the hill. We're going to go back down again. And then we're going to go around and through the finishing arch, start arch, and when it's done. So we go up to the top, down to the bottom, up to the top, down to the bottom, and then we go around a little loop and we're in. 33k total. 36 to the blue banner, gives you plenty of time to warm down. And don't forget our yellow beacon, as always, whenever he's available. We have the bear down on the start line. Russ is down there. He is going to be taking our riders out. They are on final countdown. We're on the last few seconds. So really is all about getting out, hitting the roads and making sure that they all hit the road smoothly. So let's dive in now here on the Donny Chaingang, powered by Full Speed Events and Downing Cycling. So here we go. We're down on the starter section in with Russ at the moment, and if we take a little bit of a helicopter shot, you can see we're just heading out of town at the moment. It looks like pretty much everybody on their way out. Russ at the moment just ticking along. It is the last of our Donny Chaingang of 2023. And as you can see, this group heading out on Zwift, heading out onto the Bologna TT course. Now, this course is a very interesting course indeed. Let's pull down the course profile as we follow Russ heading out here. So we're on the Bologna TT course. We are at the green section at the top of the map. We basically go up to the top of the hill. You can see plenty of red and orange sections on a fantastic Velo Viewer profile. Massive thank you to Ben and John and all of the team at Fellow Viewer for their continued support all the way through this season on the Chaingang. An invaluable tool. And if you actually jump on board before the end of this year, you'll actually be able to see your whole of 2023 as well as the top. Now, we start at the bottom. We go to the top. We drop right the way back down again. We go back to the top, and then we drop right the way back down to the bottom, and we finish at the bottom of the hill. And when we go round the turn, it's essentially 2 complete laps. 2 full laps, but what we need you to remember is on top of the course layout, as you can see it there, we do have a really important section. A loop at the top and the bottom. Think old school time trial turn in the road. So up to the top, down to the bottom, up to the top, down to the bottom. And remember, on each end, either side of those gantries is a loop, an old-style time trial loop. So really important, make sure you get that right. As you see at the moment, we've got the moon out over the top of our riders as they head out. And it looks like pretty much everybody out from those pens smoothly. Let's take a little bit of a closer look. Remember, you can zoom in on your map, just like we've just done, to a 3D view. On the right-hand side, you can take it to a 2D view by clicking on it again or touching it if you're on a touchscreen, and you can zoom out. So really simple. A hot dog hill climb, indeed it is. A U-turn at the top. Now, a couple of riders just making the way on at the back of the group. Looks like Greg Booker is going to be a man on a mission. Greg's not done the late join. Greg is going to try and get himself back on. Good luck, Greg. Meanwhile, looks like Matlock just on his way in through. Not Matlock the underwater version, but Matlock, who is on his way towards the back of the group. Looks like Burkitt's on as well. So making the way up, Keith Richards tried yesterday ride to ruffle Chris Hoy's feathers. Chris and Russ on a ride yesterday. Now, just having a quick look through. Lots of members of the Donny Chaingang Supporters Club on here. Great to see everybody in here. I got some of our real fast youngsters. Good to see the return of Ryan Williams. Ryan, one of our super fast youngsters. He is a rider who definitely needs to be watched today. The rider heading up to the top of the standings. I'm sure we will see him on as well. Currently running for the BCC. But I suspect we're going to see him running for one of the pro teams pretty quickly. Very fast indeed. Guess we've got the man down top of us in here. Liam Mazzoni's in as well. Just seen Liam. Evening, Liam. Good to have you with us. Brett Dowtrey on. Brett, of course, a regular on the Chaingang, and always good to have Brett on board here. Yeah, it's going to take a little bit of a run up to the top here. Chris Ball just nicely tucked in here. Chris, another of our regulars on the gang. We've got Steve Hilbert in here. Steve, thank you very much. Steve, of course, renewing. Remember, if you are a monthly member, if you join monthly to support the Donny Chaingang by joining the DCG gang, the Donny Chaingang Supporters Club, then really, really, really important. Make sure that you jump on board and make sure you renew for January. Now, if you are a member of the Donny Chaingang Supporters Club, quick reminder, 30% discount for OTE Sports Nutrition comes to an end at the end of December. Please, guys, make sure, if you're a member of the DCG gang, as is Mr. Hilbert here, Steve on here, then please, remember, guys, we need you to make sure you get that renewal done nice and early. If you do it before the end of the month, it makes life very much easier when we're sending out those members' emails and the details. Next month, it's going to be Goodyear Tyres. Goodyear Tyres, Cambrian Tyres down in Aberystwyth, looking after the members of the DCG gang with a 30% discount all season. But there is going to be an extra couple of little special things heading your way if you're a member of the DCG gang, so do join in January. Also coming in January is something very special, exclusive to members of the Donny Chaingang Supporters Club, so please do remember, get the membership in. If you're an all-season member, don't worry. Thank you very much for joining and committing all the way through to the end of March. If, though, you are just getting on board, then please don't forget, January is when we're going to be kicking off. We have got Goodyear Tyres, we have got Nonnas on board, taking us through January and February. They're the first 2 months of the year. Going to be very interesting to see who is in. I'm sure we'll be seeing Mr. Mason on board, Gareth Mason, aka the Fat Cyclist. Not my name, I've given him, obviously. This is Gareth self-determining. Gareth identifies as a fat cyclist. Therefore, we're going to call Gareth a fat cyclist. To be honest, he's that big. He can turn around and tell me what he wants to be called. I'll say, yes, Gareth. Whatever you say, Gareth. How high, Gareth? Right, now let's take a little bit of a look. Miss Davies in here. Finn, I know for a fact that you've been out practicing and playing on the motorbike. I am hoping that you can transfer those skills tonight to being right up at the front as we go up. We're on our way in towards the climb. quick reminder, top left-hand side, basically it is a slightly downhill to the start of the climb at 4.5k, and then it is a monstrous climb up to the top. We turn around at the top, we come back down on the climb, go out the other end, we turn round, and then we repeat it all again. The gang at the moment holding nicely together. Mr. Davies in there. Steve Wilson on board. Steve, another of our regular riders on here. Just going to take the riders on here. I'm loving Darren Topless. This really makes me look like a fat cyclist. Well, it doesn't. I'm sure it doesn't. Darren, you are a fine figure of a man, if I do say so. Okay, got a couple of returning riders. I'm sure I've seen Mr. Coleman in here. Paul Coleman from the Vex Tile Association race. Good to have Paul on board. Paul, one of our riders. It makes me... it's quite astounding, really. We've been doing this for 4 winter seasons. We did 2 years straight on the trot. Good to have Paul in with us. Superstar rider. Just having a little tick off. A bit of TV time, Paul. Well done, buddy. You got Rob Wimble in here. Rob, another of our members of the DCG gang. I'm going to just try and get above Rob. He's going to have orange, black, and white. I'm loving Dan Coleman taking the mickey out of Mr. Paul Coleman. The family relationship could be strained there. I'm sure he'll be putting him back into line. Can't see anybody off the front. It was a little. It was a blink of an eye. Now, let's have a look. Fiona Booker on the Chaingang. Fee Booker in here. So Fiona and Greg both on here. So both riding. Good to see both Bookers back on the bike once again. And good to have Leon Mazzoni, who's we heard from him earlier on. A man to watch, it has to be said. Leon just tucked in there in the grey on that orange Tron bike. A man who lets his legs do the talking, does Leon. Good to have Leon on board. And ever the true professional will be keeping out of the way, keeping hidden until he runs on. Dan Coleman, when's the cross on tonight? There is cyclocross currently running. I'm not going to give you any spoilers, but no surprises that the big one is away at the front. Big in terms of reputation and talent, not necessarily in terms of stature, but absolutely jam-packed out in Digham tonight. If you haven't watched it live at the moment, then do have a watch back. I know at least Tim from Full Speed Events is currently watching 3 screens. He's got the broadcast from us on YouTube on 1 screen. He's got Swift on another screen, and he's currently got the main feed from Digham as well. And speaking of cyclocross, I will be back on Saturday. We're going to be we've got a really busy week. We've got we had Wednesday's Wow broadcast going out on the Full Speed Events YouTube channel. We've got Donny Chaingang tonight going out on the Downhill Cycling YouTube channel. Tomorrow with Neil from Gritty. Neil and I will be recording the next episode of the Crosscast. So last time we had Lars van der Haar as our co-host. This time we've got somebody very special as well. And we're going to be bringing all of that to our riders who are interested in cross, and have a listen on Spotify or wherever you get your podcast from. Now, back to tonight, because you may not be watching the cyclocross from the UCI World Cup, which I'll be covering from now until the end of the season, the UCI Cross. You may be focused solely on the ride tonight. If you are, well, we are on our way in to the climb. We're going around this turn up alongside the colonnade, which will be on our left-hand side initially. The gradient, this is the first part of that big kick. Let's just remind you of the section. So remember, it's got to go into the red for 10%. So we are starting to kick our way up. We come round the U-turn, and we're now on to what goes up to a 13% section. We then will make our way up on to the slightly easier section with the zigzags before we get to the top. And we do the turnaround at the top. At the moment, the gang looking good as they make their way up here. Looking pretty smooth to me as they make their way up this stretch. But it is tough stuff. It is a 13% gradient at the moment. And that is going to make life difficult for the riders if they're trying to keep nice and snug in with that yellow beacon. One or two riders just starting to get distanced off the back. We're just in with Russ at the moment as they make their way in and around the turn here. So as you can see, just making the way alongside the colonnade here. Pretty much all the group are together, just making the way up the climb here. Just see Aaron Cooley just start holding that pace nice and steady as they go up there. John Woodbridge in there, Gary Patterson. Because we've got Isaac Oliver in with us again. Another of our lightweight super fast riders. Could be the man to watch as we come up over the top. Will it be Dan Coleman's day? If you go back and have a look 2 years ago, it was a Ryan Crawley who was in the mix, but I think Dan was not all that far behind from my memory of that ride. Carl Johnson tucked in here as well, looking good. Finn Davis, it starts when you finish the ride because you can watch it on catch-up. So, Mr. Davis, you can watch it on catch-up. I'm not going to give you any spoilers if you are riding on the ride today, so no spoilers, please, as you make your way up here. Not often that we have the cyclocross mixing it up with the time schedule that we have the Chaingang on. Men's tonight, Fit Mr. Davis starts at 19:40, 7:40. So you need to be finished by 7:40, mate. So you watch the men's, then watch the women's. Okay, group just starting to get a little bit fractured. Ryan Williams more than capable of making his way up to the front, I'm sure. Greg Booker is chasing on behind. Greg has been on a bit of a mission. He started off behind everybody else. Gave everybody a bit of a head start. He's on his way at the moment. It's not far, actually, before we do a left and then a right-hand turn. Bas Mulder is pick-up riding. Do you know what? I haven't actually got the start sheets. One of the very few races this season I haven't even looked at the start sheets for. Now, Finn Davis says, Willie, yes. There you go. Well done, Finn. I'm glad you knew. So, taking a look up the course here, up with Rob Wimble, the lead of this group, continuing up here. Quick reminder, try and make sure, guys, you stay with that yellow beacon. Do not push too hard on the front, or you're going to find yourselves in trouble. As the saying goes, do not poke the bear. It is not worth it, believe me. So 7% as they start to come up on this section. They're going to be taking a left turn underneath the colonnade, and then they're going to be working the way back up on towards it. Just fractured a little at the moment. So good to see Mick Clark on the ride, continuing to squeeze in with this group. Bit of a stretch here now. We're going to start saying this nice and early. If you are at the front, please do not start the descent. Please do not start the descent until all of the group is up on the turn. So the back needs to join the front before we go into the descent. Otherwise, what will happen is we will leave people behind. And it is Christmas. It's the Donny Chaingang. We look after each other. That's the whole point of the Chaingang. So a quick reminder. Please remember, guys, need to stick together as we come in. Now, underneath the colonnade we go. A right and right turn will bring us back towards the next section of colonnade. As we come across, and then a left turn to bring us back in, and one of the tight turns on here Very much fun on the way down. So really is a great little spot to jump in. So just taking a quick check, Harry Hudson in here, one of the hot favourites when it comes in to the ride, and at the moment looking pretty smooth in the group here. Just see the riders come in through, and Harry Hudson will track across as he comes in through. He's right in the middle of the group at the moment. Russ took nicely in here. The group just starting to come back together again. Now, we are going to say this again. When we get to the top, please do not descend down the hill until everybody's there. If you do, you will leave people behind. This is a true knife edge. It literally, you do a U-turn on the slopes of the hill. It may not be 16% at the top as it is here, but this, the steepest section of the course, is not long after that turn, and it does mean that you will accelerate like an absolutely really critical. If you haven't ridden Zwift, you haven't ridden esports regularly, you don't know necessarily, but think to a real knife edge summit out on the road. It's exactly the same. Make sure that when you go over the top, you go up, you drop down, and that speed will increase like absolutely crazy. So please, guys, make sure you're in with the group when that happens. Really critical. So, Mr. Mason on board, Rob Wimble tucked in here, Aaron Cooley nicely in here, ready to go. Now, Russ, hoping you can have a drumstick on the descent. Now, a real interesting point was made. We were doing some analysis actually on this descent on the way through. Tim from Full Speed Events, myself, we're looking at this. The descent times down here are really quick. If you descend at 60 kilometers an hour, and believe me, you're going to be going quicker than that, but if you average 60k on the way down, it is about 2.5k top to bottom on this descent. That means 2.5 minutes after starting, you'll be at the bottom if you average 60 kilometers an hour. If after the 3Gs and the 3Os, the release point has happened, you go up closer to that 120k marker, you could get that down to near a minute. So really important. Make sure that you get in the group and keep that group together. Now, as you come up here, you can see the back just starting to split under the pressure of these severe gradients. This is the long red section. Let's pull that course profile. We're on the far right-hand side red section at the moment. It will ease off before we get into the turn. It drops down to a whole 9%. So really critical to make sure that you get that absolutely dialed. Good to see that Mr. Mason said a fit group of fatties can win this. They can indeed pull this back. Okay, coming up to the turn. You can see it coming up in front. Now it's time to get yourself back together to get ready to ease off on the front, get the group together. This is where teamwork pays off. Makes a huge difference here. We are now heading in towards the turn. So just in with Paul Coleman at the moment. The turn will be coming up very shortly. And it's going to take a little bit of a look up ahead with John Garfer here. So just taking a little bit of a check. This is the view. As you look up the road, we're going to come into that U-turn. You can just see that little blob on the top of the map. We're going to zoom in now. When we go underneath the orange pattern, we will turn around. Anybody who's not in the group, when we do the turnaround, will basically be distanced if they are off the back. So now is the time to squeeze on. Really, really important. When we send the helicopter up, we need to see one compact group. There is Gruppo Compacto, what we are looking for right here today. Really key, get yourselves in that pack, get yourselves tucked right back in again. Really, really key. Can't afford anybody to go around there now. Darren Topless and Carl Johnson are going to need to really squeeze now, guys, as this gradient has eased. And the front of this group are going to try and ease back off, but that pack is going to accelerate just by the nature of this downhill. So round the turn we go. This is the upper turn. This is when things get very, very interesting on the descent. We're going to jump in with the gang here. We're now heading down. Watch the pace move now. We're going to jump in with Mr. Mason. On the descent, this is critical. Now the time up at the Bologna climb there, 21:16 that time round. So the riders on their way down here. You can see that pace picking up, just coming down past beside the church here, down beside the sanctuary. So they head down in this descent. You can already see riders at the back now. If you're a lightweight rider, this downhill is not the easiest. You can get yourselves distanced if you are not in the pack. You've really got to kick on as you come down. So big regroup at the bottom, please, as shouted by Russ. As you can see, this descent is incredibly quick. We're in with Leo Mazzoni. We're not going to get right up to the front, but I can tell you something. This is going to be absolutely frantic. I think Sean run it at the moment right up near the front here. We're not going to get to the very front quite simply because it is moving so fast. But look at the pace around this turn. 98 kilometers an hour. Can anybody break the 100 kph marker down here? It is doable. That faster downhill section there, really key to that. As you can see, this group flying by. 101 from Russ, a 101, 104 from Mr. Mason. Very good, 104 from Mr. Mason, nicely done. Anybody get any more than 104 on the descent? Chris Ball's got a 101. Mate Clark, 102. Who else is in the 100 club? As we go flying around this turn, the section down here is still very quick. We're still at -4%. We're going to take a little bit of a look out on our map now, and we're going to just take a little bit of a sneaky view back because I'm sure Russ will be wanting to try and regroup the gang together as they come in through. Now let's have a little check at the back here. So Darren Topless is on the descent, so is Carl Johnson. At the moment, they're 56 seconds off. I think Mick Hawkins is in danger at the moment. So Mick, you're going to need to squeeze on, buddy. You're off the back of the group. You can make it back on again. So Hawkins just off the back. In fact, there's 3 or 4 just off the back of that yellow beacon. So that pack is going to need to be steady a little while longer. Mick Hawkins currently pushing in at 3, nearly 4 watts per kilo. Darren Topless and Carl Johnson just a little bit further off. I love the fact that Sean Run, it was a.k.a. Simon, a.k.a. Sean, was indeed stuffing a sausage roll as he came in on that descent. But if you're doing 100 kph, it is about a minute and a half a descent. A mini one, obviously. What do you mean a mini one? Who needs mini sausage rolls? That's just like, no. So here we go. Mick getting the shout from Russ. Jump on. I think he's got Russ. He's got the man himself. Look at this. Russ is dropping back for him. So Russ the bear is dropping back. The bear has lost one of the pack. He's going to help bring him back in again now. So Mick Hawkins goes. Now a kick from Russ. Taylor is in there as well. I tell you something, Mick, you've got a first-class escort up to the group here. You've got Samuel Taylor and you've got Russ Downing for company. This is a nice run in as they make their way in. Making the way up there. So Samuel Taylor, we've got Mick Hawkins and Russ Downing heading in. I think Phil Oliver's just dropping back as well to put a few breadcrumbs out of the back. Or should that be Christmas crumbs out of the back of the pack just to give a little bit more assistance to get the riders back on again. I think we're not going to see Darren and Carl, minute and a half lost on that. It's going to be very, very difficult to for this pack to solve that much on the way through. First class escort, no end to Russ's business empire. There you go. Indeed, he's a first class chauffeur, apparently. I've not actually sat in the car with him for a reason. So next up, Matlock. Come on, Matlock. Just eased off the back, stretching his legs. Sure, soon be back in with the group. So this is the run in. Now, a quick reminder for everybody. This is an up, down route. This route was initially designed to mimic the Giro prologue that took us to the top of Bologna. Very, very interesting route. And designed as a time trial route for Zwift. We use it in a slightly different way with the up, down group ride here on the Donny Chaingang. Dreamt up by some evil, nasty, sadistic person who talks about you lot but doesn't have to ride it. Sorry. Not sorry at all. Now Dixon Moore dropping the interesting drop in the steamroller. There are actually some couple sections going in. Might have been wise to save them, but we will see. Mr. Mason, no, we are going up twice. Mr. Mason, twice. Let's give you a reminder. I'm hoping we have it up here. 2 laps of 16.5k. Up, down, up, down. Ooh, no, we are definitely not doing 3. We are not going up 3 times. It is 2 ascents and 2 descents. The tricky bit is the turn at the bottom here. It's not that tricky. Don't think you just black back into town and go under the arch. Oh no! You go black back into town, go under the arch, do the UE, and then meet the arch again very shortly. Now, question will be, how hard is it going to be tonight? At what point will Russ pull the pin? We are 30 minutes in. So all we have to do now, wait the words, keep the blob, and of course keep a check on how we do the turn. Now, if you remember, at the top of the hill, at the other end of the course, we did a U-turn in the road. Yeah, you remember those things. I've done one in a time trial before now. I am old enough. It's actually done on a major A road at the top of, I think it was at the top of Blue Bank actually, coming out of Whitby. It's horrible. Literally was a cone in the road. Climbed all the way out of Whitby, did a turn, dropped all the way back down in again. It's a great finish though, going downhill into Whitby. Basically on the Rosary topping road into Whitby and then back out here. Okay, so we're coming into the end of the section. We're going to go into a U-turn at the end. So basically, we've got a few zigzags coming into town. We're then going to take that U-turn. It's going to do a UE. We're going to come right the way around and back in. Scunthorpe Polytechnic had a dead turn in the 80s. Yeah, mate, this was in, I think this was in the 2000s, actually. There was a dead turn in the road. We literally came out. We set off, it was a 6 o'clock start in Whitby. We set off, I think, from home at 3, got to Whitby, started on the ride, just as it got light, did the U-turn, came back down again. I don't think it was even 8 o'clock by the time everybody had finished racing. It was pretty horrific, it has to be said. There's a reason it's been stuck in my memory. And she went up in a car with very talented rider Steve Goodwin. He was a bass player. No, he wasn't. He was a drummer. Skinny drummer with a band called Cud. And he was there was him and me in the car, teammate. He always used to win everything. I never did. And he was absolutely flying. Super flying guy. Really fast, long ponytail, really quick, super lightweight. And I was driving, and we were going up the A19, I think, at the time. And we went on the A19, and I seem to remember being in his state car going at speeds that were probably double the legal speed limit at the time. And waking up in the passenger seat by him going, man, look at the moon, man, it's amazing. Whilst pointing, gesticulating at 140. Scary stuff. It was not good. He probably had too much moonshine, Russ, indeed. Or something else as well. His body was a temple to drumming. It's a good drummer. Look at the band Cud, look at Steve Goodwin. Now, heading back into town. We're coming up for the U-turn. I've been waiting for this. O2 course at Blythe, flying course in the early 80s, but not now. Yeah, the O2 course used to be amazingly fast when we all played on the A1. Ridden that. I've actually been on a tandem on that, and I've told the story lots of times. And we were on the tandem. We were doing I want to say a 50 that basically used the O2 course by Blythe. And we've been down, came up, you go down, up again, I think. Pretty much the reverse of this. And we're coming into the 5-lane junction as you come in towards the section at the workshop where the A57 comes in. And it used to go to the roundabout. And we were tanking in the middle lane. I was stuck on the tandem. I couldn't see a thing, got my head down behind. And we came in, and I'm shouting, go, 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 go. And there was the no. And at that point, we stopped, keeled over onto the side, and the people we just passed for 3 minutes went past us, all the way up the side of us. And then, when they did that, they just went past and laughed at us, laid on the floor. We then re-overtook them again. And we got, I think it was a 153.50 that day. It wasn't our best ride, really, but it was still pretty good, apart from the lay down in the middle of the A1, on a roundabout, on a tandem. Not what you want to do. Right. No roundabouts here. This is the run in now. Let's give you a heads up, ladies and gentlemen. This is not, I'll repeat this is not the finish. Shall we say that again? This is not the finish. We go underneath the archway. We U-turn round, and then we get to the finish. So we're going to go down, straight line. Guess what? You ready for the U-turn? This is always fun. Should we go down with the riders? No, let's go up above them. It's too mean. Come in. U-turn round the bend. And see that archway in front? That is your finishing line. Let's say that again. The archway in front is your finishing line now in 1 lap's time. We are on 1 lap to go. Mr. Nunn, if you're on board, this is your moment. 1 lap to go. It is 1 lap to go. That is your finish line in 1 lap's time. Are we taking bets on how many people go over the line and sprint for the wrong finish line today? My bet is on 7. Russ, let me know how many people you think are going to get it wrong today. I'm going for 7, buddy. So 1 more climb, 1 more descent, round the turn at the bottom, and then into that line. Hopefully everybody's got that. If you haven't got that, my counting skills are rubbish. If you can't count and work it out better than me, then to be honest, you might need to have somebody help you on the ride. Get yourself a carer. It'll help. Okay, Matlock's still currently tapping a lonely road off the back. Dixon Mull hovering around the back. The group still looking good. We have 1 lap to go. This is the run out of town. Reminder, we've got 1 big climb, 1 big descent. And the pack is moving quick today, 44 kilometres an hour at the moment. We're just in with Isaac Oliver at the minute. This is a quick group. Chris Ball, depends if I can still see by then, Matt. That is a very good point, Chris, actually. If you can't see going around there, You could have the screen on, and I will tell you when you come around the corner if we happen to be watching you. I'm loving Russ, hoping the OTE Super Gels cancels out the coins. Don't forget, quick reminder, if you weren't here for the start of the show, if you're a member of the Donny Chaingang Supporters Club, you are getting 30% off OTE. Get your order in by the end of the month. It's 30% off. That's whether you're going for the recovery fuel. Don't forget, vanilla is a non-whey based recovery. You've got chocolate and white chocolate, and they are, I think, on strawberry, whey based. So it depends whether you want a vegan option or a non-vegan option. Don't forget, of course, all the OTE Anytime bars. They are gluten free. You've got all the gels as well, the super fuel on there. If you've got any questions, don't hesitate to ask them. The guys are really helpful in terms of what is in there. Make sure you get in there. Simon Runningston said he sends his subs after this ride, Matt. Thank you very much. Been busy. Yeah, I'm sure you have, bud. Totally appreciate that. Next email will go out in the new year. There will be no more emails now till the new year for members. So please do join. Get the discounts on there. There are discounts in January. Remember, of course, it is Goodyear Camry tyres. Goodyear tyres, you see them on the bottom of the screen. Everybody down the bottom of that screen have helped. They make the Chaingang happen by looking after members of the DCG gang, the Donny Chaingang Supporters Club. 1080 with the best Oakleys in the business. Goodyear tyres, so Shelley and the gang at Camry tyres looking after it. Massive thank you to them. We got Halo Wheels, the people who kicked us off in October with Halloween. Massive thank you to Josh and the team there. Halo Wheels looking after everybody. Then across to Nonnas, they're looking after us in February, during February. And then we're going to be into the Gritty squad. Neil and Caroline from Gritty looking after the riders. 20% discount from them all the way through the year. 30% on the ride month, which was theirs, which was November with Gritty. We're currently in with OTE. OTE are the team who are supporting the members this month. They've got a 30% discount for members at the moment. So please, 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 make sure you support the people who support your sport. Don't think that we don't want you to use those discounts. We do. The more of you that use the discount, the more support we are able to give the members. If you do not use the discount, we can't get. We just don't have the numbers that we just won't make it. So please, guys, make sure you're using those discount codes. Really important. Thank you. A big thank you to everybody who's in there, to everybody who's saying thanks. Guys, we really appreciate it. We have some great fun. We absolutely love it when people get on the ride, whether they're coming back from COVID, from illness, whether they are recovering from an injury, whether they are having a whole load of fun because they're out and riding with the mates. Whether it's about keeping you motivated. What is really important to us is that you enjoy yourself. So please, guys, make sure you jump on board. Mick Clark, ride number 182. Congratulations, mate. That is really, really good. Fantastic to see people on here. So, thank you, guys. Make sure that you get on board. Jump on. Join the gang if you can. Don't forget, Thursdays are free to jump on and ride. Really simple. Register. It doesn't cost you anything to register. Jump on board the ride on a Thursday. If you're a member and donate for the month, please don't forget, you get all of the email links directly into your inbox. We send them direct to you here at Full Speed Events. You get them logged into your inbox. You get the rides on Tuesdays. You become a member of the DCG gang on Zwift. We do always vet everybody who's in that Zwift club. If you're not a member, you're not on it. If you lose or you stop subscribing or you stop donating, then we also take you out of there, I'm afraid. You can't just go in once at the start of the year and stay. That is all about those people who have supported it at the time. So please, please, please do make sure you jump on board if you want those discounts, if you want to keep on getting those links. Really, really important to us because it helps us pay for all of the things that make this happen. There's a lot of infrastructure that goes on behind the scenes. There's a lot of time that goes on to make sure we look after our duty of care. We have been the proving ground for so many youngsters who are out and racing on the continent. People like Matty Brennan, who is racing for GB right at the moment on the track scene. We've got people like the Hudsons who are on board today, Finley and Harry Hudson, some of our bright young talents who are absolutely star hill climbers, medalists at that. We have got riders like Pete Drabble turning pro on the continent. We look after them because we have a duty of care to them. We exercise that duty of care, takes plenty of time. We regularly vet everything. So all the rides are vetted on the way through to make sure we know who is on those rides. Really important that you give us the details when you log on and register. If you help us by joining, we say thank you by looking after everybody who is a member of the DCG gang. A massive thank you to them. Really, really important. If you can't afford it, then totally appreciate that. The last thing we want anybody to do is put themselves in financial trouble by joining the gang when they don't want to or need to. But please, 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 do make sure that if you are jumping on board, that you give us a shout on the way through. If you do join and you're a new member, don't forget, regularly get in touch with us. And if you're a new member, jump in on, get in touch with us. We do like to know that you're in there, particularly if you're just about to jump on the Zwift Club. Try and keep a check on that all the way through. Now, our riders safely making their way in and through the streets here, heading back towards the climb. Time is ticking, I am sure. I'm wondering when we're going to see the magic words. Remember that everybody is at the moment holding around that yellow beacon. How long they'll be able to do so, who knows? The only man who knows that is the one and only Russ Downing. Russ is in here, and Russ, of course, the man who gets to say the 3 magic words. It is not just one. It is not easy, busy, let's get busy. It is not abracadabra. It is a very simple 2 letters repeated that give you the signal that Russ is letting everybody free. We're not there yet. We'll see who is going to be able to stay with them. We've not yet hit the climb. I'm not going to tell you historically where Russ has done this. If you want to know this, you have to do your homework a bit like we do and look back on the previous videos of the course. We do try and catch a watch back on all the videos. Don't forget you can catch up with all of the Donny Chaingang videos. They're all on Downing Cycling YouTube channel. So you can go right the way back to way back when in 2020 when we were in our very first winter season. We've got 2 years worth, 2 full years without a break, pretty much, until we then took a summer off. And then we've been doing the winters since winters in the Northern Hemisphere, of course. And the goes! The legendary go is gone for the last time in 2023. And he's done it before the climb. He has hit that button. He's dropped the plunger before we get to the climb. Finley Hudson's going to lead this out. Is he going to lead them on to the climb? It's looking like it at the minute. So this is it, the very last run for the line. Who's going to take away the win? It's not a race. It often turns into one. Basically, it always turns into one. Unless somebody really misbehaves. It is going to be Finley Hudson who's leading this out. Hutch goes over the top. The big pack of riders are no longer a long, sinuous snake. It went early. It went before the climb. It's caught a few people out. Who is going to be able to hold the pace on the climb? This is a select bunch at the front here. I think nobody wanted to commit too early. Fiona Booker nicely tucked in with that leading group at the moment. That this is about making sure that you can stay in contention. Leon Mazzoni just seen going in through there. He's right in that pack. Just taking a little bit of a run down. Here's Leon. So Leon Mazzoni nicely tucked in at the side here in that lava kit. He's making his way up on to the hills here of Mick Hawkins. I think it's going to be Fiona Booker, the next rider. He's alongside in that light blue. And then it's going to be Backhouse in that black and grey camo. This is all about keeping pace, trying not to lose touch. Remember, from the top, we have a monstrous downhill, which favours a pack rather than an individual rider. That's not to say you can't solo to the finish. It just makes it incredibly difficult. So, in 1, Isaac Oliver. In 2, Ryan Williams. In 3, it's Dan Coleman. In 4, it's going to be Greg Booker. In 5, Samuel Taylor. A little bit further back, got a couple of seconds gap opening there. Then it's Harry Hudson currently in 6. And I think 7th and 8th is going to be Dench and Mulder and Davis. 7th, 8th and 9th. Now, Russ Downing currently hovering around number 10 with Finley Hudson. We got Cooley, Mazzoni. Looks like Tim from Full Speed Events currently on that climb, just holding the pace at the moment. Sitting inside the top 20. Can he keep top 20 to the end? He's got the bike for the downhill. Will he pay for not having a lightweight bike on the uphill? Now, 15th place at the moment is Hutch. Then we've got Hawkins in 16, Evans in 17. Fiona Booker currently sitting in 17th place, that's she. In fact, looks like Backhouse in 20th on this climb. The ascent is tough stuff. The colonnade to the left of the riders is lit up. The riders, though, working the way up here. The very front, now about to take the left-hand turn. Isaac Oliver with the gap at the moment of 4 seconds back to Williams. But remember, the smart money here today, they all know that they will need some help when you come in to the descent. We're not up at the top of the climb yet. It's a long way from top to bottom, and it's super fast. I think we're going to find that anybody who is within touching a distance of a pack will find that they are going to have a big advantage on the way down and in. And just taking a look down this group, there are plenty of riders with riders around them. It is not in single numbers by any stretch of the imagination. And I think this is going to count. Ruth Taylor tucked it nicely here. I think Keith Richards just on heels here. John Woodbridge just in front. There are riders all the way through and up the colonnade and into our steepest section of climb at the moment. Now, Russ just taking the tight right-hand turn, chasing the riders in front. This is a big pack here with Mazzoni in here. Cooley's right on the heels as well. They're leading. How far is the gap back behind Cooley? We're just waiting to see who's going to come into sight next. It should be Phil Oliver. He's at about 9 seconds back. Now, I think he's going to come into sight any second now as he comes around that turn. There he is, guys, a diminutive figure. And as they come up here, that is to say that that gap from Oliver up is 7 seconds. That feels like a long 7 seconds to me. And remember, when we get on to the top of the climb, then things are going to speed up on to that descent, and being able to motor on with the group is going to make a difference. We're going to roll up towards the front of the group. Greg Booker currently chasing Harry Hudson, who's got Ryan Williams 5 seconds in front of him, and 10 seconds in front of Hudson is Isaac Oliver. He's the leader on the course at the moment. He's got another chicane to move from the left to the right-hand side of the colonnade that's been decked by that Imperial Purple Zwift banner. At Imperious at the moment is Isaac Oliver of the Yombunk crew. Looking good as he makes his way up here. He's going to take that right-hand turn. It's going to take a little bit of a check back. That's Williams in 2, then Hudson in 3, Booker in 4, and then it's Finley Hudson, brother of Harry, immediately behind, currently in 5. He's got a good train of riders. He's got Samuel Taylor beside him. So Taylor at the moment in that green and blue camo, just ahead of Finn Davis. Davis nicely squeezing on. He's got Dench, Mazzoni. He's got Downing and Mulder, as well as Cooley for company. Then it's 12 seconds back to Dan Coleman, a very fast rider indeed. 4 then to Oliver, 22 to Hutch. So a little bit more of a substantial gap. Hutch has got Tim from Full Speed Events right behind him. Then it's going to be Mick Hawkins, who's on his wheel. Charlie Babbitt not far behind. Fiona Booker also not that far behind. And they are coming in seconds at a time. And what's going to be really interesting to see is how these groups come together. And the bigger riders, I mean, Mr. Mason, 104 kph on that downhill. It would be huge. Can anybody beat 110? On that descent today? Going to be difficult to do. Russ still chasing the leaders, currently in 11th position. Isaac Oliver is on his way up and over. Now Russ is going to have his work cut out, because Ryan Williams is already saying to Isaac Oliver, you need to Wait, mate, it's easier on that downhill if they work together. Isaac Oliver has said yes. He's backed off. He's at 3.7. Isaac Oliver is on the way down. Williams is then saying, then we go. These guys, they've got a plan. And they're not going to be chasing a solo rider. I think Isaac Oliver's on the way in. So this is Russ. Is going to, all the sledges have started their panicking. Let's get over the top. Let's see. Can they hold it off? It will be 2 versus a group behind. I'll tell you something, that is a good-sized pack. Williams, he's on his way up. That is a very early deployment of the anvil, though, because he's gone in the little descent. They'll carry him around this turn and into the first part of the descent. He's got to really kick now to build up the pace. The gap has opened up in front. It's currently 13 seconds, and as we go down, Isaac Oliver is going to go down past our yellow beacon. That is your race leader, just passing on the yellow beacon on the way down the hill. Russ is still on his way up. Now as the chase is on behind, Hudson starting to make his way down here. So Hudson's in 3. Booker is going to come down through here. I think Booker is going to be in 5th place here. Finley Hudson is in 4th. They need to get it together. They've got to get it together very quickly indeed here. If they don't, they're going to be in trouble. They're not going to catch on to the riders in front. This is about having the pace now. Just in with Mulder. Mulder's going to try and get on to the wheels. This is a big shout coming out from Russ Downing here. Come on, let's go. Let's get on here and let's go, go, go. You've got to put the pressure on now. They've got their work cut out because in front of them, it's a long way down to our leader on the road at the moment. Isaac Oliver leading this out. He's a long way down here. He's on his descent, but he's doing 75 kph on here. And this is probably not the fastest we're going to see. 79. It's not that great at the moment. He's got pursuit coming. 86 coming from Hudson, who goes down through those bends. We're going to try and take a quick check from Hudson. We're going to try and go across to pick up another of our fast riders. We're going to go in with Russ if we can. In with Eddie Dench, who's in that same group here. There are 84 at the moment coming in to the chicane. So holding down on in with Eddie Dench here. Round that right turn, round the left. You can see just how fast it is down here as they make the way down, but again, in the 80s, they're not up in the 100s. They don't have that massive pack of riders. Aaron Cooley's having to pedal down here. He's giving it some real power as we come through those chicanes. Absolutely nailing this. So we're just going to take a little run up the hillside here. We're going to try and catch up with Gareth Mason. He's still on the uphill section here, so Mason not going to be in at the kill today. Meanwhile, Isaac Oliver, he's hit the flatlands. He's actually on the draggy section, and he's got company because it is Isaac Oliver and Ryan Williams, 2 riders together. They are leading this out now, so they are currently in the race lead, in the ride lead. We're at 54 and a half, nearly 55 minutes here. As they go down, the gap back is, you're waiting for this, 49 seconds to Hudson. 31 seconds to Downing. The good news is there's plenty of time to pull them back. Currently, I reckon 6k. So 6k to pull back a gap of 170. That means they need to be pulling out about a second and a half. Sorry, 10 and 15 seconds a kilometre. Yeah, 15 seconds a kilometre. Should see them in at the kill, but they've got to put 15 seconds in a kilometre. Going to be tricky. Very interesting to see. That should mean they'll catch them with about 1k to go, which is what you'd want to do. You wouldn't want to catch them bang on the line. At the moment, though, Isaac Oliver eases off the pedals at 3 watts per kilo. Ryan Williams comes back. Pulls through at about 5.5 watts per kilo. Isaac Oliver then goes up to 7 to try and jump on the wheels. Harry Hudson is caught in no man's land at the moment in 3rd place. It's 47 seconds in front. It's 22 behind to Dench. The good news for this chasing group is that they have already taken 6 seconds out of Williams and Oliver at the moment. They need to get that pace lifted, though. At the moment, it's not enough to sit at 4.5 to 5, because Williams and Oliver are sitting at 5 to 5.5, and I think they are currently looking like the breakaway of 2 are likely to stay clear unless this group suddenly decide that they're actually going to work together and work hard. They've got to go, and they've got to go now. And if they don't, they are not going to get back on again behind. Just going to take a look. Dan Coleman currently chasing Hutch, currently chasing Oliver. They are currently in 13th through Oliver, Phil Oliver. We've got Hutch at the moment. He's in what is a 14th place. 15th is Coleman. 16 is Hawkins. 17 is going to be Tim from Full Speed Events. 18th is going to be Pearson. 18th is running. We've got Fiona Booker sitting inside the top 20 here. Cracking ride by Fiona Booker, clearly coming back on to form. Had a great summer on the mountain bike, including in those team marathon events. But this is going to be all about trying to close down those leaders at the moment, get those gaps down as low as they can. It is 47 seconds to Hudson, 1 minute and 5 at the moment to Downing. And Oliver and Williams now on a 2-up time trial to try and stay clear of the chasers behind. They're going to have to give it everything, because they know that if they ease off, the gap will come tumbling down. The group behind are moving. They're just not moving consistently fast enough, I think, to pull them back. But there's a lot more people to share the workload. Adi Dench, Finn Davies, Greg Booker, Leo Mazzoni, Finley Hudson, Samuel Taylor and Russ Downing, all in that group at the moment. It is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 riders chasing 2. The advantage should be with the 8. However, I'm not sure that's going to be the case, because I'm not sure everybody can work at the pace that is required on the way through. In the moment, Leon Mazzoni is doing an absolutely sterling job on the front ever, the professional. He's absolutely nailing this at the moment. He knows he's got to keep the pressure on. 56 seconds now to Oliver and Williams. The work being done by the St. Piran rider really is making a difference here. Can he close down Isaac Oliver? Can he close down Ryan Williams? Two of our bright young talents, Isaac Oliver and Ryan Williams, two of the riders you need to be thinking about when you're thinking about riders for the future. Now, Ryan Williams has got the energy to type. It hurts. If I'm not much mistaken, Ryan Williams also plays in a band. Ryan, tell me that's true. I'm sure you do, if I remember correctly. Last time I saw Ryan, he was walking down a hill in Dronfield as I was suffering going up it on my mountain bike. Right, now, taking a look across, the riders chasing behind in that pack. At the moment, they're all across the road, and that is not a good sign, because if they're all the way across the road, they are not working as one. They're not taking their turns. There are a lot of people, I think, just not able to match the pace that's required to pull them back. Russ putting in a big turn here. Now, looks like he is currently 16 seconds off Hudson, but Hudson is 49 seconds off Ryan Williams and Isaac Oliver. Left turn done. They've got the sharp right-hand turn to do. This is going to be very interesting indeed, that gap. It's currently 1:07. And it dropped as it came off the hillside. I don't think it has dropped enough. I'm currently looking for the top 20. Well, the top 20 position is going to be a fight between Charlie Babbitt and Fiona Booker. It's currently this duo fighting for the top 20 position. 25th will come from this group, I suspect, from Wilson, from Matlock, from Ball, and from Backhouse. Now it's going to be, I think, the Whitehead group in the 30th position or so. Mason could well be in the fight inside that top 40. I think top 40 just being held at the moment by Ruth Taylor on the way in. Our leaders, though, there is Williams and Oliver. And look at this. I think Oliver has gone pop here. There is a problem for Isaac Oliver. This is not good news now. So here we go. Turbo has just gone pop for Isaac Oliver. Oh, no. Oh, no. His turbo has gone pop. I tell you what, I'm sure it's in bits. It's the immense amount of power. That's not good news for Ryan Williams, because Ryan Williams now is on his own. He should surely be able to make this happen. He's not that far off the gantry after all that work. Isaac Oliver is going to be sat at the side of the road, and here they come. He's going to see them coming past him. First of all, it's Harry Hudson that goes through. Very quickly behind comes the Downing group. They're fighting for now a top 2 position, I think, because remember, Ryan Williams is leading. He's solo after his breakaway partner in crime has gone pop and the turbo has blown up. It is game over. Behind, it's a big old group. Harry Hudson is 3 seconds in front of his brother Finley, and at the moment, Downing's group is on its way through. So here we go, in underneath the banner. He's going to take the turn here. This is Ryan Williams. He is going to make his way around the turn. Takes the tight left here. He can see the gantry in front of him. Well, Happy New Year, Ryan Williams. Happy New Year, Beeston Cycling Club. A rider making his way in here, taking the win is Ryan Williams on the very last Donny Chaingang of 2023 here in Bologna on Zwift. Behind, the chase is on, and at the moment it is Finley Hudson who is leading them out. So here we go. Isaac, do not say sorry, not your fault, your turbo's gone pop. And thank you very much for enlivening the action on the way through. Brilliant job done by Isaac. Feel very sorry for him after his turbos let go. So there we go. Now look at that. That's what you want on the Chaingang round. We're saying that is a joint win. So well done. Now it's going to be a second place, a very fine second place. Another of our talented youngsters, Finley Hudson, comes through. Second place today for Finley Hudson. It's going to be a third place for Russ Downing. It's going to be a fourth, I think, for Greg Booker. It should be a fifth place for Harry Hudson. A sixth place. Oh, it's going to be tight. They are going to be sprinting it out. This is for the line. It's going to be Davis who's going to take sixth, I think, or Cooley taking sixth. Oh, they're so fast. Finn Davis taking sixth, Sam Taylor taking seventh, Mazzoni taking eighth. Then it should be the run between Cooley and Mulder here for what is going to be 10th or 11th. A massive thank you to Russ for leading us today. Great win, absolutely flying today. Now, Mulder has got to kick here. This is the run for the line. Cooley puts in the afterburners though, and Cooley is going to go for this. I think Cooley's going to take it. He goes through. He's going to take top 10. It's going to be an 11th place for Mulder at the moment. So great riding as Mulder goes in through. Now, I think our next rider will be Phil Oliver, who's making his way in. As you can see, we have to do a little bit of jumping about. Finn, thank you very much, buddy. It's great to have you on board. We love having our youngsters back on the gang. So Phil Oliver's the next rider who goes in and through, and we're looking for Hutch at the moment. So Oliver done the turn. He's lining himself up. Hutch is the rider behind him. 20 seconds down, so it's 12th place for Phil Oliver. I don't think he's going to be touched as he makes his way to the line. He's just going to see Hutch go the other way, so Oliver goes through. It's the 12th place. Hutch is currently on his way into the turn. He should get 13th as he comes around this left-hand turn here. I love the fact everybody's attributing Isaac's turbo failures to too much power. I'll go with that. So here we go. This next sprint is going to be very interesting. So Hutch should get 13th. This is the run for the line here. And I think Tim from Full Speed Events has gone early. This is the run for the finishing line here. He's at 7.5 watts per kilo. Well, he got a top 20 last time. It's going to be a top 15 this time round. Tim from Full Speed Events, the man in the background. He doesn't do the talking. He does a lot of the admin, though. He's going to go through. He takes a 14th place. It's Mick Hawkins taking a 15th. It's going to be Dan Coleman taking 16th. We're looking for 17th. That's going to be Simon Runnett. Well done, buddy. It's going to be an 18th place here for James Pearson, Jamie Pearson going in and through. Fantastic stuff. Now going to look for our next riders. This is a three-up battle. A three-up battle here for top 20 spot. Charlie Babbitt along with Evans, along with Booker on the race for the line. Fiona Booker is going to get the fastest female of the day. Oh, what a sprint coming from Booker. Oh, my goodness, where's that got launched from? 13 watts per kilo. That was kept in the background, wasn't it? My goodness, that was a fantastic kick. That snap really paying off. So, 19th for Booker, 20th and 21st Evans and Babbitt. Matlock is just ahead of Ball, I think, here as we go in. I'm just going to take a quick check here. I'm just going to have a look. Sorry, my apologies. Now, it's going to be Henderson, our next rider, coming into the line. Keeping me on my toes. So well done, Adam Henderson. Adam on his way in. Hits underneath the gantry. Then behind Henderson, I think it is going to be Backhouse. He's going to be inside the top 25. Chris Ball is in this run for the line. Ball is going to take a 24th spot. 25th will be Wilson. 26th is going to be Steve Hilbert. Good riding there, Steve. Nice ride, mate. He's gone in through then. Then we are going to take a little bit of a look. It should be Matlock now in 27th place with the 28th place. In theory, going to be going to Mick Clark. It's going to be Whitehead in 29th. I think if we get this right, it's going to be a little bit tricky today. We've just got to run our way in towards the right part of the line. So it is going to be Woodbridge in underneath the line behind them. So John Woodbridge from the Velobad squad doing a cracking job. He goes in through then. Garfer immediately behind him. Rob Wimble into the final turn. But in front of him is Dick Samuel. Samuel has done the turn. So Samuel pushes on. Coming the other direction comes Wimble. As they go back in towards the gantry, it's going to be Dick Samuel. It's going to come through 33rd place here today on the Donny Chaingang, the final Chaingang for 2023. Don't forget, we've got lots more to bring you. One of our regular cross riders, somebody who's done so much for cyclocross within the East Midlands area. Rob Wimble goes in and through the line. 34th today. It's going to be a run to the line. So this is going to be a run in to the finish. Burkett Cross, Mr. Burkett chasing in to the line. He's going to go in ahead of Mr. Mason. Not often that you can say that's going to happen. So Ed Burkett going in through, I think, just behind Mason and English. Chris Canham going to be our next rider. Quick reminder, don't forget we've got a crosscast. We're recording that tomorrow. Great guest on that show. You can download that. That will be coming out before we hit Hulst. Hulst UCI coverage. If you are not in a geo-blocked area, it'll be on the UCI YouTube channel. If your computer's not thinking it's in a geo-blocked area, you can get me on the mic covering the UCI Cyclocross World for the English commentary. We're then going to be bringing you lots more racing, esports racing over the weekend until we run in, of course, to the one and only Wow Chaingang. That's going to be happening next Wednesday. We'll have the first Donny Chaingang on broadcast for 2023. That will be a week today. And of course, the members' ride will be next Tuesday on Zwift here. So Pattison coming in through Ruth Taylor, taking our second female rider of the day. Richards in and through as well. Good riding. Fantastic to see John Gale also in, I think, through the line. We're just going to take a double check on our screens. Richard through. I think our next rider should be Paul Coleman, who's into the turn. Indeed it is. So Paul making his way in. He's our next rider on his way into the line. We still have one or two riders out there. Thank you, Chris, for say thanks. And thank you for jumping on the gang. Dan Coleman finishing. Paul Coleman also in and through. Great to see those riders making the way in and through the line. I'm going to drop back here because I think our next rider is going to be Andy Keyworth. So Andy, I think, is our next rider heading in towards the line. And judging by where he is on the course, should give me a little bit of a chance to say, please, 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 make sure you register if you want to jump on and ride. We love to see everybody on the ride. It's a ramp workout. At the end, it often becomes a race, a.k.a. it almost always becomes a race. And it's about holding on and seeing what power you can put down as you make your way around the amazing worlds on Zwift. The routes vary, they change. They've all been selected and chosen over the last 4 years by Russ Dunning and by myself, Matt. And we are there putting those routes together, making sure that they are going to be suitable. They're going to give us the right sort of workout. Russ this season gets to pick all the routes. He has sole control this year, which is quite nice. I don't have to say any of the routes to Russ. He's totally choosing himself. Thank you very much, Russ. Much appreciate it. And don't forget, of course, we'll be bringing you all of the coverage. The Donny Chaingang on the Downing Cycling YouTube channel, the Wow Chaingang on the Full Speed Events YouTube channel. We will be bringing you lots more action. News for next year, and it has hit the stands. If you're one of our female riders, get yourselves registered for the Tour of Boudica. Boudica's Tour, the Tour of Boudica, is coming out. I'm going to be working with the team at ZMS Studios, and the commentary team will be headed up by Emma. So the very same Emma Martin that you hear bringing you commentary from World Championships for the UCI, from World Cups for the UCI, who also, of course, organises the Wow Chaingang regularly on there as a leader as well as commentator. We'll be bringing you all of the action from the Tour of Boudica on Zwift, so please do enter that. You've got, I think, until January the 4th to enter if you're one of our women riders who are going to be riding on the Tour of Boudica. There are lots of registration dates on Zwift that are coming into a cutoff, so please do jump on board. Make sure you get registered. You've got to be in it to win it, so get yourselves on board. Andy Keyworth, next of all riders in through the finishing line. Good ride, Andy. Well done, mate, from the Out of the Saddle Club. He has made his way in and through the line. And that means, I think, we have one or two riders on course at the moment. I think Darren is on his way. Darren Toplish from Pine Cycles. Darren, a key member of the Donny Chaingang, the supporters club. Not just content, of course, with supporting us. Darren is, of course, a volunteer. He's a commissaire who looks after a lot of riders. He got 101 kilometres an hour on his own on the downhill. That is some going, Darren. Well done, buddy. I wonder if that is a record solo. 101 on the way down that downhill. We might have to take a run up the hill just to see if we can beat that on the way down. That is motoring on his way through. He's going to go one way as Andy Keyworth goes the opposite direction. He goes past the lonely figure of Isaac Oliver, stopped at the side of the road after having come out in the race lead. And now Darren on his way. So Darren, volunteer. He comes out, organiser of the Sherwood Pines Time Trial, key member of the Sherwood Pines cycling community. And of course, key man when it comes to Pine Cycles, which has had a refresh of its shop sign, courtesy of one of the Donny Chaingang regular riders, Johnny Lightfoot, Johnny Two Dogs Lightfoot, which a lot of people will recognise the name from riding on the Donny Chaingang. He's been let loose on the sides. Pine Cycles supporting riders. So whether or not you're going down to the Pines, you want to hire a bike, whether or not you are wanting a Fetland upgrade, lots of great Hope goodies in there as well. Lots of road gear as well as clothes. Head down, go see the team down at Pine Cycles. Go say hi to Darren. Really got to say, make sure you support the people who support your sport. They're there putting in the time. They're looking after riders. They're volunteering. They're making sure that our riders get looked after. You can see our supporters down the bottom who look after the members of the DCG gang. 1080, the best Oakleys in business. A big thank you to Ian Taylor and all the team at 1080. Goodyear Tyres and Continental Tyres from Cabin Tyres. Massive thank you to Shelley Charles and all of the team there. A big thank you to Josh Mayland and all of the gang at Halo Wheels. To Stefano Maurizio at Nonnas. And they're going to be looking after our riders. They look after them all year round. We've got some special stuff coming up as well. And don't forget, of course, they are our supporters in February. We also have, of course, Gritty. A big thank you to Neil and Caroline Mansfield. Supporters from the go of the DCG gang. A big, big thank you to them looking after the members, not only in November, but all the way through. And, of course, this month's key supporters, the team at OTE, who are looking after the riders with a 30% discount. If you are a member, don't forget, end of the month is when all of that changes. So, Darren Toplish now heading through, warming down as you can see as he makes his way in. We are going to leave Darren on his way into the finish, and that means it just remains for me to say a massive thank you. Don't forget you can join. You can see the address up there. It's www.buytickets.at/fullspeed-events. That's for the WoW Chaingang, for the Donny Chaingang. If you just want to register and ride on a Thursday, if you want to join the DCG gang, keep an eye out on that in the new year if you are a member, because you will have a special unlock code coming for a very special event for which you will have a top priority. So please do join us. The Donny Chaingang is a co-production. Russ Downing of Downing Cycling and myself, Matt Payne of Full Speed Events. Make sure you follow Russ at Fonzie at Downing Cycling, Pro Espresso, Fuel CC. Have a look on Russ's social media feed for what he's up to. You can follow me. It is at Matt Fix the Pain across social media, across Swift and all of the various platforms. And don't forget, of course, to give us a follow at Full Speed Events. But for 2023, on the Donny Chaingang, for the very last time till we hit the new year, stay safe. We'll see you again soon. Goodbye.